Peace. All praise and glory to the mighty most high, our creator is one God. Give me 1 second here. Camera. Somehow got a smudge on it. Okay. Let's bring you in a little closer here. Maybe just a little more. Okay. All right. Let's roll. How are we doing? Shalom. All praise and glory to the mighty most high, our creator who's one. We're finishing off on Exodus chapter 20. Okay, starting at 18. When the people saw the thunder and the lightning and heard the trumpets and saw the mountain in smoke, they trembled with fear. They stayed in the distance and said to Moses, "Speak to us yourselves, and we will listen. But do not have God speak to us, or we will die." Well, there's a lot going on here that they'll die. Well, as we get into the Bible further and stuff, we're going to start learning about images and idols. Okay? So Moses said to the people, "Do not be afraid. God has come to test you so that the fear of God will keep you from sinning." God here. Notice this God, no Lord before God, plainly God, Elohim, okay, plural of Eloah, gods in the ordinary sense, but used, key here, but used of the supreme creator. This God, Elohim, is mankind. You got to understand, folks, just because it says God in the Bible doesn't mean that it's talking about the Lord or the Creator. Now, the problem, and I'm going to be doing a lesson when I'm done with this one here, is that the Lord here is telling you that he is separate. And the Creator here are one. Their number is 3068 of the Strongs. Okay, the Concordance. And this God here, mankind, is 66. It's 666. Because you got to remember that Adam and Eve were cast out into a world of sin. Okay? And they were exiled into death. It's that simple. The Creator said that not to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, because if you do, you will surely die that day. Okay? That day. So did God lie? Are we in a flesh suit that's still living? No. Spiritual death took place for Adam and Eve that day. Okay? It's a metaphor. Give me a second here. How are y'all doing? Welcome. Okay? So God, you got to understand the spirit, the self-existing eternal spirit, he uses mankind. He uses the flesh as a conduit. He created it good and evil. He created we know as Gentile what is good and evil. The angels that fell away from God know that what they've done was wrong. You just got to understand what an angel is. So the Creator is going to test you so that the fear of God, Elohim, again, plural of Eloah, and remember, plural means many gods. These are gods in the ordinary sense. Okay? And you have the very word man in the plural of many gods. So this is what you got to start understanding, is that the Creator created mankind in his image. And those that are created in an image are phantoms. They're ghosts. You got to understand the biblical definition for image. Let's move on. Let's get a little deeper into this. The people remained at a distance while Moses approached the thick darkness. This is why I'm going to be doing another lesson here, because this darkness, this cloud here, it means to be gloom is what it means. Darkness. Why, if it's the Creator, the Spirit, the self-existing eternal one, why isn't it the Spirit coming in light of what he is, all creation? Why darkness? Okay, where God was. Moses approached the thick darkness where God was. This is why I'm going to do another lesson here when I'm finished with this one. We're going to break out the Bible and we're going to read Exodus 20, and we're going to go all through it again, and we're going to show you all the different titles for God in the Bible, because you have El, who is God, and his number in the Strong's Concordance is 410. And then you have Elohim, and his number in the Strong's Concordance, Elohim, also is God, gods, and lowercase gods. And the number for Elohim is 430 in the Strong's Concordance. And then you have the Lord, who is the supreme creator. Okay, and his number in the Strong's Concordance is 3068. So darkness where God was. Then the Lord said to Moses, hold on, why ain't we talking to the Lord up here? Why isn't this the Lord? What's this differentiation? What's the difference between the Lord and God? Well, I just told you. Gods, many gods, plural of Eloah, are mankind created that he uses as conduits to discipline and teach. Okay? Then the Lord said to Moses, tell the Israelites. Why are they the Israelites? Because they are the elites. These are God's chosen children. Okay? They're a nation of men and women with their faces dark to the ground. In case you want to know, dark in the Bible means black. God's chosen children are black. Now, Satan wants to make this war about black and white. And as far as the scriptures tell us, in Ezekiel 31, but the Assyrian was a cedar. You see what this is? The cedar is the tree of life. Okay? The Assyrian was a cedar in Lebanon with fair branches. Fair branches in this parable means light skin. Satan was a light-skinned man, and then the Creator created a darker man. Now, all the Gentile nations were created both black, white, Asian, European. They're the nations that were created on the sixth day, the beast of the field, each according to their kind, in Genesis 1:25. God creates the beasts of the field, each according to their kinds. Okay? You have seen for yourselves that I have spoken to you from heaven. Okay? Now, he's come to them in a dark cloud. So now we can identify that who's ever speaking here is talking about from heaven, but this cloud here is being observed on this plane of existence, which tells you that this plane here is the second heaven. Second plane is second heaven. Okay? Because it says in Corinthians, I don't know whether out of body or in spirit, but 14 years ago I saw a man ascend to heaven. So this here plane that we live in, that God's appearing in a cloud, is the second heaven. Okay? It says the third heaven. So now we know that we have a heaven that's above the firmament. Okay? We have a heaven between the stratosphere, or I should say the exosphere as we've been taught, and the troposphere, which is the lowest. Okay? In science, you have the troposphere, the stratosphere, the mesosphere, the thermosphere, and the exosphere. Those are the 5 layers that make up science's atmosphere for our Earth. It's correct. It's incorrect. All right. There is no atmosphere as we've been taught, because we have a firmament that rests firmly over the top of us. Okay. So we have 3 heavens. Okay. Gloom. 7. Do not make any gods, boom, with an S, to be alongside me. Do not make for yourselves gods of silver or gods of gold. So the Creator's already given the Israelites instructions of what not to do. And this is why you're under punishment, because the Israelites have fallen into pagan worship. You started worshiping the Assyrian, who is the cedar of tree of knowledge. The Assyrian, Satan, is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. He's the one that come into the garden and asked Eve, is it true that God said, thou shalt not eat from any tree in the garden? What he did was entice her into a conversation. That's all he did, and got her talking to him. No, it's not true. God said that we could eat from any tree in the garden, but from the tree of the garden in the midst, we shall not touch or eat from, or on that day we'll surely die. And then the serpent goes on to say, you shall not surely die. God knows that in the day that you eat thereof, your eyes will be open, and ye shall become as gods. And that's the first time that other gods, gods plural, is used in the Bible. You shall become as gods. And then what does God say in Exodus 12:12? That he's going to destroy all the other gods underneath of the heaven. So we have 3 heavens, folks. You have a first heaven here, a second heaven here, and a third heaven. The third heaven here is the one to be speculated at and be concerned with. I know a man that rose to the third heaven, he says. Well, what's the problem with 3? Because 3 represents the angel from the abyss. Okay? 3 represents the destroying angel. Okay? Make an altar on earth of earth. Now, hold on. Make an altar of earth for me and sacrifice on it burnt offerings. Now, that definitely sounds like something to me that's from the fire, because the Creator plainly says that sacrifice is an abomination to him. Okay. Do not make any gods to be alongside me. Do not make for yourselves gods of silver or gold. Make an altar of the earth for me and sacrifice on it burnt offerings and fellowship offerings. Your sheep and your goats and your cattle. Wherever I cause my name to be honored, I will come to you and bless you. So now we have somebody that's coming to the children of Israel and blessing them. But are they? Have the excuse me. Have the children of Israel ever been blessed? And I got to ask, look at the word bless. I keep telling people that our language is a split tongue language, and that's why you have the word less and bless. That's why you have sin in sincere. Okay? Because it's a split tongue language. Sincere means the precept without deception or intent to cause harm, to be straight and forthcoming, upright, to walk a righteous path, sincere, but you have the word sin in it. And another big one too is, well, let's just keep reading. I'm getting ready to come to it. Like I said, I read these before I even begin my show. Okay. Bless you. If you make an altar of stones for me, do not build it with dressed stones. This is the parable that a friend of mine just sent me the other day, because I was having conflict about altars and stuff. But let me say, now this is the first time in the Bible that you have the Lord giving a command to build an altar, where none of building an altar happened in the beginning, in the creation story. Adam and Eve were never told or asked from the Creator when he set them in the garden to build them an altar. The Creator never said to Adam and Eve that you may slay animals. The Creator never said anything other than you can eat from any tree in the midst of the garden other than the one tree of knowledge and good and evil. Everything else should be yours as food. Everything else, the berries, nuts, and fruits, should be all yours as food. Okay, and do not defile it, the Lord says, with a tool. And do not go up on top, do not go up any altar with steps, or your private parts may be exposed. And that's the close to chapter 20. Now, what we need to get through here, man, because this is big, is what I need you to understand is the word image. Okay, image in the Bible's biblical definition for image is to shade. What does that mean, to shade? It means that we've been shaded in flesh suits. Our light, essence, our being of who we are has been trapped in a flesh suit. We lost our ability to be anywhere at any given time. When we fall into this construct, we become imprisoned in our thoughts, in our bodies, underneath the firmament. This place is a prison. It's a slave state. You've either asked the Creator if you could come here, or you are sent here as a punishment. And the bottom line is, there's only one way to get back home, and that's through the self-existing eternal spirit, the living God, the eternal Creator. Without that, you can't get any further. So the biblical definition for image is to shade. a phantom. Okay? This whole story starts to come to light so deep and so complex once you understand the biblical, once you can swallow this understanding of image, and that people who claim to be, I'm created in God's image, they're all proud that they're created in God's image. I don't see why you'd be proud about being created in an image of God when the Creator is telling you in the very second commandment of Exodus 24, you shall make for yourselves no graven images. You shall not bow down to them. You shall not worship them. You shall not stand them up in corners. You shall not do any of these things. They're like wood. Those that build them are like wood to the Creator. They're like wood. So image, to shade a phantom's definition is a ghost. Okay, to shade a phantom, it is a resemblance. It's a replica. Especially an idol. That man that's created, this is this man that's created on the sixth day of creation, is created in an image of God. And the biblical definition of image is to shade a phantom. Let's even go deeper on this. The word mage is in the word image. I'm a mage. I'm a mage. When you look at the definition for mage in the Bible, it says, I, a mage, I practice sorcery and magic. That's what this man is. This is why he performs, to shade a phantom. It is also an illusion. These are the definitions for image. And the word image has mage in it. And a mage is, I practice sorcery and magic. So whatever this is that's created on the sixth day is pulling magic tricks over your eyes. Lose them quick like that. Just had two people come in. You start talking about this man on the sixth day, everybody freaks out. I practice sorcery or magic. So the man that's created on the sixth day, this has everything to do with Revelations 13:18. These two parables, this here image, all has to deal with Genesis 1:26, 27. You could throw 25 in there too. And then when you add up these three parables here, they come to 78. And that equals 15, which equals 6. So the definition, so now we know that whatever is being created here in an image is why the God gave us the commandment in Exodus 24. You shall make no graven image. What you're getting here is the most valuable information that you could ever come across. So now you have this one here, this commandment is coming from the Lord God. Okay, when I say God, I mean capital G, capital O, capital D, the supreme self-existing eternal creator. When I say Lord God, I'm talking about the Spirit. I'm talking about the living God, the eternal creator, the Spirit of truth. Revelations 13:18 has everything to do with Genesis 1:26, 27, 1:25, 26, and 27. And that is your connection. When you multiply 13 times 18, it comes to 234. And when you add that number 234 backwards, you get 666. The parable Revelations 13:18 says, here's a call for wisdom. Let the one with insight calculate the number of the beast, for it's the number of a man, and his number is 666. This parable has everything absolutely to do with Genesis 1:25, 26, and 27. In Genesis 1:25, beasts of the field are created. Okay? This here is a hidden meaning for the United Nations. I'm just now being able to teach my granddaughter this stuff. She's 10 years old. She asked about God, her mother about God. Her mother didn't know how to respond. And then I guess the Creator brought my daughter after years and years and years back into my life. Someone asks about God, God's going to answer. So we've had this connection now. I've never even met my granddaughter before. It was the first time I met her about 2 months ago. I went up there and I visited and I got to meet her. I got to talk to her about the Bible, share about the Bible, tell her about the Lord, get to share this information that I've been blessed with. So in Revelations 13:18 has this connection between Genesis 1:25, 26, and 27. And then this connection has this everything to do with First Colossians. Okay. Colossians says, for the Son. Who's the Son? Jesus Christ is the image. Is the image. That's it, man. That's a big connection I'm making there for you. So Colossians is telling you that Jesus is the image. The man that's created on the sixth day of creation is created in an image. And Revelations 13:18 is talking about the man that's created on the image. These parables have to deal with the sixth day, the beast that were created on the sixth day, and then mankind. Okay, that is your 666. Right there, everything that's taken place is because of the sixth day of creation. It's a beautiful connection. Is there anything more that can connect this? Can connect Jesus Christ to being the one that's created in an image? When God says that you shall make for yourself no graven image, Jesus is the image created on the sixth day of creation. Can I prove that? Damn straight I can prove it. Prove it here. What do you have in Genesis 1:1? In the beginning, God created the heaven and earth, time, space, and matter coming into existence at the drop of a thought from our Creator. Okay? And then you have John 1:1, which says, in the beginning was the Word. Okay, what we're focusing on here is the Word. 666 is who we're trying to calculate. The number of a man who's a beast, 666. John 1:1, in the beginning was the Word. It said 3 times. The Word here is 23, 15, 18, and 4, which comes to 60. And then 6 plus 0 equals 6. And the Word said 3 times is 666. Jesus is 666. You want more? In the Greek concordance, Jesus's number is 2424. You break that down, it comes to 66. Jesus is the one that's created in an image of God. The invisible Father. The invisible Father. Hold on. Let me get some more here, man. Jesus is the image of the invisible Father. He is the firstborn over all creation. Jesus is the firstborn over creation. Who's the firstborn? This man that's created in Genesis 1:26 and 27. Not only is this man created, if you read the parable and you go and look at it yourself, it says, in the day that God created him. Why doesn't it say in the day that God created him and her, he created him and her, a male and female, he created them? Why does this parable simply read? Well, it reads a lot of different ways depending on what Bible you're reading at. But the one to look at the most, the King James Bible, says that in the day that they were created, God created him, one man, the first man, Adam, he created him, a male and a female. God creates that first man, Adam. Okay? Corinthians says, the first man, Adam, became a living being. Let me look something up here real quick. I want to read something for you. My stream doesn't shut down by doing this. Okay, I'm reading from okay, give me a second. 13:15. And this is a mind-blowing parable, folks. And it was given to him to give breath to the image of the beast. So my question here is, and it was given. Somebody is giving something to him. So you have worship the image of the beast to be killed. Now, that parable there is a sloppy ass written parable, let me tell you. There's no doubt about it. But what we're focusing on here is, and it was given. Something was given to him to breathe to the image of the beast. So the breath has been given to the beast, the image. This is why it's so crucial to understand that in this understanding of this man that's created in an image, it is an idol. The man created on the sixth day of creation is an idol. It is idol worship. Who is idolized in heaven? The Creator was idolized in heaven, right? Or sorry, scratch that. The fallen angel, Lucifer, he was. He's the fallen one. He's the one that made himself an idol. All the other beasts of the field were worshiping the idol. This one here that's created on the first day of creation was the one that was given dominion over all the fish in the sea, the birds in the air, the cattle of the land, and everything that creeps upon the face of the earth. And God saw that it was good. Okay, for some reason, what God? Because I'm telling you, I'm teaching you that God Elohim is plural. God Elohim is good and evil. Okay? It's like, I don't know if any of you remember the movie Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but at the very end of the movie, Willy, he gives or is that his name? I forget the character's name. The little kid that won the golden ticket and got to go. He wins the whole show and everything. At the very end of the show, what does he do? He Wonka. Okay? And in doing so, he wins the prize. And then Gene, whatever his name is, it eludes me right now. Gene Wilder, I think his name is, tells him that he wins, and then that one of his characters walk into the Bible, or the room that he's in, this half room. I'm going to be doing a video on this as well. The half room represents the spiritual side that you can't see and the material world, the electrification of the materialized world. That's what that room is. When he walks into the room at the very end of the show, and you're looking at everything on the wall, is the clock is cut in half, the chair's cut, table's cut in half, the lamp on the table's cut in half, everything's cut in half because it represents the spiritual world, what you can't see and what you can see. The truth is in the movies. When the scales come off your eyes, there's a lot that's being told in these movies. So what's my point? My point is that in this case, this is just an analogy, but let's say Willy Wonka in this case is the higher power. He is the Lord. And then the Lord used what? He used Slugworth as a tool to find out who is going to try to sell the gobble stopper. You know, I'll give you money for the gobble stopper. Just give me the piece of candy so I can find the truth. See, you have to engage in it. You have to physically hand Slugworth the piece of candy. And that's what won his favor. Little Willie's favor is because, or Peter, or whatever his name is in the show, won him favor because he gave back his gobble stopper. So this is kind of the same way that the Creator uses the beast nations. Okay? The Creator says not to lie. He says not to cheat, not to fornicate. He says not to commit murder. He has all of his moral laws, not to worship any other gods, not to set any other gods beside him, not to place idols before him, after him, any of that. He has the Sabbath day, and he wants you to keep everything holy. So you have all of these laws. If you walk by the 10 Commandments on your heart from day to day, you read this Bible, you get into the Bible, you read it, you dive into it, man, and you make it part of your life rather than, you know, I'm just trying to get my daughter adapted to reading the Bible. I don't want to swarm her by saying read an hour each day. So I just tell her simply, read a chapter each day, because a chapter only takes 10 or 15 minutes to read, folks. It's not a lot of time to devote to the Creator and beg him for discernment to help you understand. You got to get it, man. I've learned something that was put on me that other people don't know. Why? To confirm that man that's created on the 6th day of creation was created him, the first man, Adam. The first man, Adam, became a living being. The last. So here you have 2 Adams. Okay. You have one, which is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And then you have the other that doesn't know anything. It's just a gullible little soul that was told by the Creator, heed me. I'm pretty sure that Adam, the second man, Adam, was spiritually connected to the Creator. This is why he didn't have a flesh suit. Okay. Satan could see the flesh from the other side. Satan was looking at his dark skin, and that's what bothered Satan. But what it really was is because he was a light being. He had the spirit, the breath of life. You got to understand that. The breath of life was placed on this man. The breath of life wasn't placed on the one that's created in an image. The one that's created in an image is a phantom. I told the definition for phantom is a ghost. And this is why the word hosts exists in ghosts, because our flesh suits are nothing but hosts. And a ghost is the spirit of the dead. A ghost is the spirit of the dead. Jesus Christ died on the cross and gave up the ghost. Most Bibles say that Jesus died on the cross and gave up the spirit. Yeah. Jesus gave up the spirit. Jesus died and gave up the spirit. If you're the Creator, think about this. If you're the self-existing eternal Creator, how do you give up your spirit? if you're the spirit of creation, if you've created everything, you're the spirit that creates everything. How do you just give up your spirit? You can't. You're the creator. Jesus couldn't have died. If Jesus was God, then Jesus couldn't have died on that cross, and it makes the whole damn thing a freaking lie. So I think that that's a pretty good lesson. I'm going to end it there. All praise and glory to the mighty Most High, our Creator is one. There's none like him. Blessings to the stranger that's trying to turn that and walk that straight path, man, to get off that wide road, because the temptation is out there in the world. If you want to be in you from the world, it's going to be presented to you, and you're going to have a choice. You can play and then pay later. Some of you aren't going to, you're going to pay and you're never going to come out. You're going to pay for it the rest of your eternal life, because the Creator has placed statutes. Okay. He doesn't want us fornicating with multiple partners in our lives. Okay. He wants us with one person, and we need to start teaching our children to cover themselves up, to cover our skins up, to stop bearing your chests out there, man. Stop sticking your breasts in people's face. Stop wearing clothes where when you bend over, your coochie's sticking out, man. You are living in depravity. You are making yourself an idol. You're making yourself a person of interest to be worshiped. God doesn't want you making men fall in lust because of your beauty, or women to fall in lust because of a man's muscles or his physique or anything. You got to understand, you're born into this realm, then you are born with the seed of Satan on you. It simply says, I shall place your seed between you and the woman. It's time to wake up. I didn't write down a lot of scriptures, but I sure did pump out a lot of scriptures. So anyways, I'm going to cut out of here. If you'd like, we can bow our heads and go out in prayer. Our Creator, the Spirit which moves all things in place, you are the Almighty One, the Supreme Being, the authority, one that writes the show. You are my master. I humbly lay down before you. I am broken. My ego no more. I submit to you every cell, every fiber that comprises me of flesh, every ounce of blood that pumps through my veins is yours humbly. Please, on that day of judgment, save my wretched, stained skin, my meat suit. Save my soul. Keep your spirit upon it. Keep your spirit upon those that ask for it, that want to know the truth. Let them ask for your spirit of truth to be placed on them. I ask all these things only in your almighty power. My Creator, the one God, a Spirit. This is White Raptor News Ministries. Shalom.